Everyone. I wanted to walk through some clarifications on your proposal, final report, and oral presentation that we'll be spending the last portion of this 7-week term on. So I'm almost done grading your set of instructions and wanted to offer kudos on those. They're looking really good. I think I've reached out to a few of you to ask if I could borrow yours for future classes, and thank you for your willingness to do that. A few things just to reinforce, just to polish and strengthen instruction, should you be doing that in the future. Making sure that you understand the difference between a bulleted list and a stepped list. So bulleted lists are used for things that don't need to be done in a specific order. It's like a grocery list. So I need milk, I need cheese, I need bread, I need cucumbers. I don't have to get those in a specific order. They're just on my list. Whereas a numbered list indicates that you need to follow this specific order in these specific steps. So when you look through your instructions, I might have made comments on this should be a bulleted list or this should be a numbered list. The other thing to note would be being consistent with your capitalization and your punctuation. We have a tendency to over capitalize things because we live in a consumerist culture where lots of products get capitalized even though they don't need to be. So just making sure that when you're going back through your ingredients or your tools or equipment needed, that you're not capitalizing things that don't need to be capitalized. But conversely, when you're looking at your headings and your subheadings, that you're capitalizing all the major words in those and just being consistent. And then the same thing goes with punctuation. If at the end of every step you have a period, every one of your steps should have a period. If you've left it off, then leave it off. So overall, nice job, and I will be finishing those up soon. So onto your proposal, your final report, and your oral presentation. So when you're choosing your proposal topic, you are essentially choosing a topic that you will stick with through the end of week 7, because your proposal eventually becomes your final report, which is what you will present your oral presentation on. So the proposal is a proposal to solve something, to fix something, to lessen an issue. So I've had students do this on areas that they have seen problems in their own life. So I had a woman a couple summers ago who lived in a more rural area and has 2 young kids, and she wanted to propose that her community install a speed bump because it was near a school. People were driving through a 25-mile-per-hour zone at 40 miles an hour, and when kids were getting out of school, it was dangerous. So she was able to research how much a speed bump cost. It was anywhere between, I think, $800 to $2,500, a relatively simple solution to help prevent, people going too fast. And that was her proposal, and she turned that into then her formal report. So the proposal is like a pitch. It's like, this is what I think I want to do. Here are some of the issues I've started my preliminary research on. Here's some information that I want to dive into further. And here's who I think I want to send it to. All of your final reports have an end audience. So for that young woman that I referenced about the speed bump, she's ended up sending it to her county, so the people in charge of road repairs. When you submit your proposal, I look at it, I'm like, okay, yep, that seems doable. Here are some things maybe you should do some research on. And then your final report is what you would propose to your end audience. So this is what she would have sent to the county, and she would have had data like, these are how many cars go through here in a day. Here's how many people live on this particular road. This is how much the speed bump would cost, and here's how we could implement it. So she gives some details on the problem. She gives some details on potential solutions, and she basically says, it's in your lap now. This is a problem we need to solve. Won't you help me do that? So your proposal is going to be shorter, probably 2-ish pages. Your final report might be anywhere from 5 to 10 pages. That doesn't mean you're single spacing and you're writing a big draft, but it's going to have areas like research on the problem, how much it's going to cost, the feasibility of implementing your solution, and then your sources. I had another person a couple summers ago, I think I've mentioned this in one other video, who did a proposal and then a final report and a presentation on the need for increased medical awareness and offering of pain solutions to people going into insert or remove an IUD or an intrauterine device. So this person had had one, had it inserted and removed, found it painful, talked to other people who also found it painful, and discovered kind of a trend that their pain was being dismissed and that the people performing these procedures were not getting a lot of extra education on the proper way to offer pain relief or to know the various levels of pain and discomfort people would be discovering. This person also worked in the hospital already and was able to create her own survey, and I think was able to get about 300 people to reply to that survey, which is amazing. That's really good firsthand data. And I'm not necessarily saying you all have to have a 300-person survey that you're sending out, but if you can do a little bit of your own interviewing, surveying, research to find out what people are thinking, how they're feeling about the problem, that would be something you could use for research too. And then she wrote up her final report, which I think ended up being several pages, and then she gave her oral presentation. And when I'm talking about an oral presentation, I don't mean that you have to come to class and stand in front of an audience, but you will be likely recording, like I am, have some kind of slide decks or PowerPoint, something in that realm, and talking through to your audience, recording yourself and then uploading it to Blackboard so that I and your other classmates can watch it. So it's not in time, it's not live, but you are actually presenting to a camera, talking through the issue. And that is one of the competencies of the course. So that's how you kind of culminate all of your research and all of your data. So I hope that helps clarify what the last couple of weeks we'll be doing. So your proposal is a pitch. It's here's the problem. Here's what I think some background information is. Here are some research I want to do. And here's what I think the solution would be. And then you turn that proposal into a more formal final report. It's got more detail in it. You've done more research. You are proposing to a specific audience what you think will help to alleviate, lessen, solve the problem. And then last week of class, you record yourself talking us through that final report. So I'm looking forward to seeing your proposal ideas. Again, think about things that are important to you, things that you've been personally affected by, people that you love have been affected by, solutions that you can offer. I have seen students who are very interested in the unhoused situation that we have in La Crosse County. That we've tried moving people from different areas, and we've had some cleanup along the river. And there was a proposal to turn a hotel into a housing shelter that fell through. So everything's kind of in flux right now. And, it's been bitterly cold. And we see it in communities across the nation that people are having a hard time with housing. So what do we do? How do we fix that? That's a big, big problem. And it's probably not one you're going to be able to fix easily. Also think about the scope of things. How can you find a problem that is not too big? Like, can we solve homelessness throughout the country? That's probably too big of a scope. You might be able, though, to propose some solutions for approaches we can take in our community. One of the examples that I have on Blackboard is from a student who was a lover of snakes, and they were talking about increasing the amount of snakes that people could have as pets. So, if you find a niche area where you're really interested in a topic and you want to pursue it, this would be a great opportunity to do it. I've had students who were dissatisfied with the course requirements that they were having to complete for their major or program, and they wrote to their dean of a division of the college and said, I don't understand why we need to take this course or that course. You can do that too. So think about issues that affect you. Think about issues that you see maybe are common around people that you spend time with, and possible solutions that you could propose, and think about who you would actually be sending your proposal or your pitch, your report to. Okay, I think that's enough for this short video. And if you do have questions or want to throw an idea by me, please just reach out via email and I will check it out. Have a good day and stay warm, everyone. Take care.